Spiritualized. Welcome back to the 120 Studios. It wasn't so very long ago since you were last here. 3 months probably, I think, maybe.
Possibly, yeah.
Yes, talking about another band, and this band, which we want to talk about now. So I believe you've been out in the countryside finishing off an LP, is that correct? Or is it finished?
It's getting kind of close. We're doing more mixes of it, and trying to get the sounds on tape similar to how they appear in my head, which is taking quite a while.
Right. Is this why you chose to go out into the country? No distractions and all that kind of...
Nothing of the sort. That studio was offered to us by a fan of the band, and he bought all the kit from a major studio, so we're actually getting almost state-of-the-art kit for a better budget. And the fact that we're in the country means nothing to me, because when we're in the studio, we could be anywhere, so I don't get to see much of outside of the 4 walls of the studio.
So you're in like a sort of mixing phase of it, or are you still recording songs?
We're recording some more stuff. We want to get a lot of material to put out. In the next 6 months we want to be releasing a lot of stuff, so we're recording and mixing. Right.
So I know recently here in the UK you've been out and played some live dates and stuff. Was that to sort of get out of the studio and, or maybe work songs or just get a break?
Yeah, kind of like trying some new songs out live. We did a 2-hour set at the Commonwealth Institute, going over some new material and stuff. And yeah, because I think the main, I've always seen the band as more of a live thing rather than a studio thing. So I guess at the moment I'm happier doing the live stuff.
Gotcha. Will the debut single be on the LP?
Debut single being Anywhere That You Want Me, I doubt it very much, because that's kind of dislocated from everything else we've done, in that I paid for the recording of that single myself and gave it to the record company to kind of
lure them
into a deal. We were actually unsigned when I gave that to them.
Okay, well we can take a look at the video right now. Anywhere That You Want Me, debut single from Spiritualized, and unlikely to be on the debut LP, from what you're telling me as well. Any reason why you chose that song? Favourite song, I presume, or you must have liked it? Or?
Yeah, because I guess the first time I heard it, it was like I'd heard it so many times before. It had that kind of, without being an obvious song, it was kind of, it must have hit home, you know.
Yeah.
And it felt like a good track to put out as a single.
Got you. Now the current single, Run, actually, is it J.J. Cale lyrics you've taken there?
Yeah.
Why was that?
I guess initially as a kind of lazy songwriting. Like the music was there, we were performing the music, and because there was no lyric of our own to sing, I kind of picked up on that one. Being a massive fan of that album and most of his other stuff anyway. And then when it came to actually recording it, it seemed kind of selfish to try and rewrite the lyric or change the lyric so it wasn't J.J. Cale's, in that we'd been using that for the whole of the working out the song through that lyric.
The inspiration, as it were, too.
Not necessarily inspiration, but it was kind of like we'd use that along the working out of the song. So it seemed kind of selfish to then remove his lyric purely so we didn't have to give him a cut, you know, or a credit or whatever. So, and I don't mind giving J.J. Cale money. I'm sure he doesn't mind.
So you did the honourable thing. And this, in the sense of, I mean, do you like writing lyrics yourself or not? Or?
Yeah, but they don't always come easy. So sometimes we end up with pieces of music that are lyricless.
Okay, well we can take a look at that particular single right now. You're watching 120 Minutes. That was Spiritualized, and Jason Pierce from the band is in the studio with me. You actually seem a lot happier from last time I saw you. You think that? You're actually talking away here and last time.
No, I don't know about that.
No, you do seem a lot more sort of relaxed, and are you just getting used to interviews? and talking about your music?
I don't know. Last time I was here, there was a lot of. It was kind of like tying up the loose ends of Spaceman 3, and it was kind of messy business. So
Yeah.
I guess that weight's been lifted.
So you're feeling better in yourself generally? And Spiritualized are getting a lot of good press, and people are. I think that sort of Spaceman 3 legacy has kind of been left behind, and people are seeing you as a new thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rather than I don't know, some kind of. Yeah, I think people have accepted us and accepted what we're doing, rather than.
Follow on.
Yeah, or trying to keep Spaceman 3 alive.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, listen, thanks for coming in, and look forward to this album when it eventually gets here.
Cheers, thanks.
You're watching 120 Minutes. We're going off to the break. Don't you go away.
Every day I wake up and Girl, it's like an angel sigh when I see you walking by. Girl, you know the reason why. Girl, you know the reason why. Girl, you know I've nothing left. I'm just a feather on your breath. Girl, you know the reason why. Girl, you know the reason why.
don't try to replicate the album live. We just use it as a kind of spine, and then I guess improvise, but not in a kind of Space Jam or 70s kind of improvised way. It's still very minimal, and it's still very simple parts that we play.
As we come then to the end of Glastonbury on this third evening, the band who finished off the evening in such a fine way that you wouldn't have seen that yet is Spiritualized, and Jason from Spiritualized has joined me here straight after the show. Welcome to 120 again.
Alright.
How are you doing? Feeling good?
Yeah, feeling okay.
Feeling okay. I wanted to ask you, talking about live stuff, you've just brought out a live album, which is a mail order album. Which is why is that?
I guess because it's it's for the fans really, you know. It's for it's not a definitive live album. It's a record of a show that we did in the States. So it's kind of more for people who want to hear that kind of stuff rather than this is our next release, you know.
Right.
So it's not. It wasn't recorded as hey, let's do a live album. We just got a good recording. It's kind of like it's more of a bootleg, but we can guarantee the quality, and it's going to be a good
so this is what when you were out with the Mary Chain, is it part of that thing over there?
Yeah.
Okay, we understand that now. In fact, we'll go and take a look at you live on stage. Spiritualized. We enjoyed that, didn't we? That was good. Spiritualized there live on stage. So what's happening then? In the meanwhile, you're back in the country. Are you doing any more shows across the continent?
Yeah, mainly festivals. We're playing Fela in Ireland, Roskilde, Denmark,
right, so
and maybe one in Cyprus, which I know nothing of yet, and a Finnish festival as well. But basically, any dates that we can get
for the next few months, at least. That's what you're doing. Recording-wise, have you started?
We're recording between those dates, so we've kind of getting a new album together, which we've got most of that recorded. So
is that going to be a this year album or next year?
Possibly, maybe. Well, when it's done, basically, when we're happy with it, we'll put it out. So.
Okay. Fabulous. Well, we look forward to that. Thanks for joining us on the show again. And here you are, Spiritualized on your screens. 20 minutes then draws to a close at the end of our 2 weeks in Glastonbury. Hope you've enjoyed it with all the live performances, also those interviews. Next week at 9 o'clock back in the studio, where of course we have all the latest videos, tour dates, some of your requests, all the usual stuff. 2 hours of the best and the latest in alternative and independent music. See you then, 9 o'clock. Bye.